You've used 4 different products on it. Toilet cleaner with bleach, Comet, a pumice brush you scrubbed with for 12 minutes. The ring lightens slightly, then returned to full intensity within a week. The ring is not rust from the toilet. The toilet is vitreous china, calcium silicate ceramic with a fused glass glaze. Porcelain does not rust. The ring is iron oxide, dissolved iron from your water supply, depositing at the waterline as water evaporates slowly at the surface each day. Microbial biofilm activity at the waterline produces mild organic acids that etch the iron oxide deposit slightly into the ceramic glaze surface, anchoring it below the mechanical reach of brushes and the chemical reach of chlorine bleach. Chlorine bleach cannot dissolve iron oxide. Iron oxide is a metal oxide. Metal oxides dissolve in acid, not in oxidizing agents. Bleach is an oxidizer. It makes the ring look lighter by bleaching the organic components of the biofilm around the ring, which is why bleach gives you 2 weeks of improvement and then the ring returns. Pumice stone, lithified volcanic glass, has a Mohs hardness of 5.5 to 6.5. Vitreous china has a Mohs hardness of 7.0. Pumice is softer than porcelain. It abrades itself against the porcelain, not the porcelain against itself. The abrasion mechanically lifts the iron oxide deposit from the glazed surface without scratching the underlying porcelain. This has been documented in residential plumbing maintenance literature since 1948. The plumber who charges $150 to clean your toilet knows it. The 8-minute pumice application that costs $1.09 is what the service consists of. Plumber toilet bowl cleaning service, $150. At plumber cost. Pumice stone, $1.09. Specialty cleaner, $2.83. Labor, 20 minutes at plumber field rate, $6.33. Travel and minimum service fee, $30. Total cost to deliver, $40.25. What they charge, $150. Margin, 273%. The plumber's 20-minute service consists of applying a citric acid solution to soften the iron oxide deposit, then mechanically removing the softened deposit with a pumice stick. Both tools cost $1.09 total and are available at any hardware or grocery store. Here's the material science and why every product you've tried worked poorly. The toilet ring is a 2-component deposit: iron oxide precipitated from iron-bearing water at the evaporation line, and calcium carbonate scale as a secondary mineral from hard water. The biofilm at the waterline produces organic acids at concentrations sufficient to partially dissolve the ceramic glaze surface, microscopically, allowing the iron oxide to seep below the glaze surface, not just on it. This is why liquid cleaners fail. The iron oxide is not purely surface deposited. Liquid cleaners contact the surface. They cannot reach the subsurface anchored deposit. Chlorine bleach, sodium hypochlorite, is a strong oxidizing agent, highly effective against organic compounds. But iron oxide is already fully oxidized iron, Fe3+, the highest oxidation state of iron. You cannot further oxidize iron in its highest oxidation state with bleach. The bleach destroys the biofilm pigment around the ring, the 2-week improvement, but cannot affect the iron oxide mineral itself. The ring returns as the biofilm regenerates. Acid treatment. Citric acid reacts with iron oxide. Iron oxide plus hydrochloric acid produces soluble iron chloride plus water. However, because the iron oxide is partially subsurface, acid alone may not fully dissolve the anchored deposit. It softens the outermost layer but leaves deeper material. Pumice stone, at Mohs 5.5 to 6.5, abrades material at the same hardness range as iron oxide. Hematite form iron oxide at approximately Mohs 5.5 to 6.0. The pumice abrades the iron oxide directly, without abrading the harder porcelain glaze at Mohs 7.0. Wet-on-wet application. Wet pumice on wet porcelain produces a slurry that carries the abraded iron oxide away from the surface, exposing clean porcelain progressively. The combined protocol. Acid pre-treatment softens and partially dissolves the deposit. Pumice mechanically removes the remainder. 8 minutes total. Stop. The 1948 record. In 1948, the United States Bureau of Standards published residential plumbing maintenance guidance covering fixture staining associated with municipal water supply minerals. The section on iron staining in toilet bowls specified, iron staining, where present at the waterline due to iron-bearing supply water, is effectively removed by mechanical abrasion with pumice stone applied to a dampened surface. Chemical solvents alone are generally insufficient. The 1948 guidance explicitly identified, bleach does not work on iron oxide, pumice stone does. Available to every licensed plumber trained since 1948. Now here's where it gets genuinely clarifying, because the $150 plumber service call is not suppression. It is simply the minimum service call. Most plumbers will not travel to a house for a toilet ring for $20. The minimum service call, travel, time, liability insurance, floors the price at $80 to $120 before any work begins. The actual service takes 20 minutes. The total bill? $150. The labor value of the 20-minute pumice application at any honest billing rate, $6.33. The gap is the minimum service call structure. The gap is not knowledge suppression. The toilet ring is the clearest example in this series of a service call that generates $150 for solving a problem the homeowner can solve in 8 minutes for $1.09. The honest limitation. Pumice stone removes iron oxide rings and mineral scale deposits on vitreous china surfaces. It does not remove manganese dioxide rings, darker than iron oxide, almost black. Manganese requires oxalic acid or a dedicated manganese stain remover. If the ring is black, not red-brown, manganese, not iron, it will scratch. Acrylic tub surrounds, fiberglass, and plastic. Use only on vitreous china. Use only wet on wet. A dry pumice stone on dry porcelain will scratch. Always apply to a wet surface with the stone also wet. 2 steps, 8 minutes. Step 1. Acid pre-treatment. Mix 1 tablespoon of citric acid powder in 1 cup of water. Apply directly to the rust ring. Allow 3 to 4 minutes of contact. Slight fizzing indicates the acid reacting with the iron oxide surface layer. Do not flush during this period. Step 2. Pumice application. Wet the pumice stone in the toilet water. Critical, always wet. Apply the wet stone to the ring with firm, linear strokes. Moderate pressure, wet on wet. The pumice will generate a slight paste of pumice particles and dissolved iron oxide. Continue strokes for 2 to 3 minutes. Flush to rinse after the ring is gone. The ring will be gone or nearly gone after 1 application. If a faint shadow remains, repeat the citric acid step, allow 4 minutes, and pumice again. Total time, 8 minutes. Total cost, $1.09 for the pumice stone. Prevention. In high iron content water areas, install a toilet tank drop-in that releases citric acid continuously, $2.47. Prevents iron oxide from depositing at the waterline. Replaces monthly. Residential plumbing cleaning services generate $8.7 billion annually. The 1948 U.S. Bureau of Standards guidance identified iron staining as a pumice removal problem and explicitly documented that bleach is ineffective. Every licensed plumber since 1948 has had access to this guidance. The minimum service call structure captures $144 of markup on an 8-minute pumice application. That is the complete mechanism. Tonight, flush your toilet and look at the water line as the water settles. Red-brown ring, iron oxide. Black ring, manganese. Both have cheap fixes. Neither requires a plumber. Tell me in the comments, ring color and how long you've been fighting it. Every ring removed with the pumice stone tonight is one fewer $150 service call. Next video, the water in your basement every time it rains. The contractor says $1,500 to $5,000 for exterior waterproofing or an interior drain system. The hydraulic cement and sodium silicate masonry sealer that stops water infiltration permanently through porous masonry walls costs $6.47 for a 2-pound bag. It has been in basement waterproofing specifications since 1958, and there are 2 specific application conditions, temperature and moisture, that determine whether it works permanently or peels off in a season.